Have you ever wondered what happens at a green card interview? I'm Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, your friendly immigration lawyer in Texas, here to answer all of your immigration questions. At a green card interview, you go to an office, a U.S. Citizenship and Immigration office, and you await your turn to interview before an immigration officer. Typically is not a lawyer. So it's not like a court hearing, it's just a, non-adversarial interview. And you're gonna have an interview date and notice, and it'll have a list of all the things you need to bring. And ideally you'll be working with a lawyer who makes sure you're prepared and does a mock interview and everything with you. And you go, you check in, you're gonna wait in the waiting room until the officer calls your name, and you're gonna go back to their office and they're gonna begin the interview. Most of the time, they are primarily concerned with your application, everything that you've written on the application, and they're going to go through it. So you want to always, when you have an immigration interview, be really familiar with all the paperwork that you have submitted and all the answers to the questions so that you can just answer what's already in your application about your criminal history, your immigration history, your address history, your work history, your relationship history, all that stuff that's in there, you need to be able to discuss with ease. And if your interview is about a relationship or a marriage, then the officer is probably going to have questions about how you met, what was the wedding like, have you met each other's parents, etc. Usually it's very short. That interview usually only lasts about 20 minutes. However, if there are any red flags or the officer suspects something, they may do what's called a Stokes interview, where they're going to separate the couple, put you in separate rooms, and ask you questions to see how your answers compare with each other. Now, if you have a lawyer present with you, the lawyer will be able to come into both interviews, which can be really critical if they ask you something and you sort of inadvertently give differing answers on accident. An example once that I heard was a couple was asked where they ate dinner to celebrate their last anniversary, and one of them gave one restaurant and another one gave another because they were like both their favorite restaurants. And that couple got denied. So it would be helpful to have a lawyer in the interview to say, I think they didn't understand the question, or to ask clarifying questions as that goes on. There's no way to really prepare for that interview where they split you up, because they can ask anything. But in general, what I'll say is, as long as you're living in a valid marriage where you're living together, this is really for love, it's not a fraudulent marriage, you don't need to worry, because you're going to be able to get through the interview. But if it's not a real marriage and you're just doing it for immigration purposes, there's not really a way to prepare and get yourself over the interview, and you're probably going to be caught if you get separated and questioned like that. Hope it helps. Good luck.